Today, we take a look at the Mantis X shooting performance system. Hey guys, Carolina Gun Guy here. Today we're going to take a look at the Mantis X and I'm going to give you my thoughts about it, with the caveat being that I've only had it for about a week. Before I get into it, just a reminder, hit that subscribe button and give this video a like if you find anything useful. So I've had this for about a week and I've practiced with it both live fire and dry fire, and this video will discuss my initial impressions with the device, pros and cons that I found in the first week, and the price point. I'll also give you a discount code that I used to get 20 bucks off this thing, which enabled me to get it for under 140 bucks with all taxes and shipping included. So I ordered this directly from the manufacturer's website. There's one minor con with doing it that way, is it took me about 10 days to get it. That's not horribly long, especially considering that this included the New Year's holiday, but when you're anticipating getting your hands on it, it's a tough wait. So this is how it comes to you. It's shipped in a box, and the box is pretty well constructed. And in the box is a nice little soft case. So I've seen previous reviews of this system, and apparently they used to ship it in a sturdy hard case, but those days are gone. We have this little soft case now. It's adequate, provides more than enough protection for everyday use, taking this guy to the range. So inside you have the Mantis X system itself. You have your charging cable. You have a couple of mounting screws and little Mantis X sticker, which is cute. I'll find a spot for it somewhere. So my first impression of the device was that it feels cheap. It's a very lightweight plastic, and it does not weigh that much. Let me go ahead and get my scale here, and you can see 25 grams is what it comes back. I mean, that's about the same weight as a couple of 9mm rounds. So with the weight distribution on this thing, it feels even lighter than ammo does. It just doesn't feel like there's much to it, which is actually good because it's not going to change the weight distribution on your gun at all. So I have it mounted here. I use the Ruger Security 9. This is my everyday carry, so this is what I use to train with. It's what I use to shoot, so it's what I use for the Mantis X. I have it mounted on the bottom here. This thing's kind of cool. You can mount it on the bottom here, you can mount it on side rails if you have it. It gives you the option to mount it in a lot of different places. I did find when I was mounting mine, I had it all the way back at first, but it just wasn't calibrating, it wasn't picking up the shots as well, so I moved it a little bit forward, and this is what works for me. You have the option to do a lot of different things with it and put it in different places, so you can pretty much put it on any different spot of the gun that you want to. So it's mounted, ready to use. First you download the app from the iOS or Google Play Store, and then you connect. When you turn the Mantis on, you push this little button right here. It is ready to connect now. And then you push the connect button on the app. Once you're connected, it brings you to this screen, which gives you options for what sort of training you'd like to go through. When you click the settings button on the below, you're given the option to select your gun type, dominant hand, whether you're shooting live fire, dry fire, or with a CO2 cartridge, and then the mount location and direction. As I mentioned earlier, you have the option of mounting this several different ways on the firearm itself. Going back to the training menu, I've clicked on the Mantis X benchmark training, and this is the screen you come to. It gives you instructions on how to proceed, and then you push the start button when you're ready. This particular exercise is untimed, so you take your shots at your leisure and the results pop up after each shot. When you're finished, you'll have something that looks like this. You'll see your score for each shot and the time you took in between each shot as well. The blue and yellow lines under each score represent the movement during the time that you held on target and then your trigger pull. You can swipe over for more detailed information about your shooting, including these graphs that plot your score as well as your movement, again for holding on target and trigger pull. You'll also get graphs which show your overall movement during the trigger hold, the pull, and the recoil. Now I'm not sure, but I think it records movement from 0.2 seconds before the trigger pull to 0.2 seconds after. You can then go to a summary of your shooting performance and you'll find your all-time average as well as your average for training this week, with each week starting over on Monday. From this screen you can scroll down to see the history of your last training sessions and review each one individually if you'd like to. Here's an example of a recent open training session that I did with 50 total shots. The score here is from my last shot, and when you click the stop button on the bottom right corner, you'll get a session average. As you're shooting, you build what they call your spider web. This tracks the individual movement of your gun, and over time you get a great visualization of your overall gun control. Now while you're shooting, if you hit a score less than 95, it'll give you the possible cause for your error, like below where it says too little trigger finger on the bottom left. When you click on that, you get more information relating to that issue that you can use to adjust for future shots. So my overall impression is that this is a really good training tool to have. I like it more for dry fire than I do for live fire, because with dry fire there's not really been a good way to measure your accuracy unless you have one of those laser snap caps that flash a laser light on the wall with each trigger pull. This system gives you feedback with every trigger pull and lets you know what sort of movement you have while holding on target, pulling the trigger, and then with managing recoil, which isn't really an issue so much with dry fire. But it's useful for live fire as well, but with live fire I do feel that I end up focusing too much on trying to game the system, versus getting an accurate shot. I find that I'll end up not caring so much about where my aim is and focus more on holding steady, a smooth trigger pull, and managing recoil, all of which are good habits, but I just get it's a little distracting, and I find myself overthinking what should be a natural progression of get on target, stay on target, pull the trigger, get back on target. Now as for that discount code for 20 bucks off, this isn't my personal discount code or something that I've worked out with Mantis. Do a Google search and you'll find it yourself. SAJNOG. There it is. SAJNOG. It's used in conjunction with retired Navy SEAL Chris SAJNOG. You get a cool 20 bucks off when you order directly from the Mantis X website. And here it is just to show you. My total after tax was $139.41. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time, and God bless.